Welcome to Envato Toots Plus Premium. This course is titled Creating Vector Art, and this specific lesson is the process. Now, what I want to go over in this lesson is just laying a creative foundation for what we're going to move forward on. And in order to do that, I want to explain the process we're going to approach this creative task with. And this process lies heavily in the realm of drawing. Yes, this is a digital environment that we're going to be working in, but it strongly and heavily relies on analog skills. There's just no way getting around that. And it involves drawing. So whether or not you want to ever become a full-blown illustrator really isn't the point. The point is drawing, whether you want to do illustration or design, will greatly improve the creative success of the given project. So integrating design, analog, into the creative process that you're going to execute digitally will only get better if you draw your design beforehand. So as you see here, this is a little creature for a personal project I've been working on, and this was my rough sketch. It's a great sketch, captures the essence of what I want, but it isn't tight enough to then now go into a drawing program such as Adobe Illustrator and build it in vector form. It's too loose. It's too rough. It captures the essence, but it doesn't give me the exact shapes I need to know in order to build it with precision in a vector drawing program. So the next step in this process would be to take a rough sketch and to refine it. And when I say refine, I just mean drawing it out in a more refined form. In this case, I use a mechanical pencil because I'm able to draw thinner lines, and I literally draw out the shapes that I'm going to be building in vector form. So in other words, I think through shapes before I ever move into the digital realm. In analog, I'm thinking out how those shapes, those vector shapes that they'll eventually be, are going to be formed by drawing them out now. This is going to serve as a roadmap to build upon moving forward. So as I scan that drawing in, I bring it into Illustrator, I'll start building my shapes. Now, there's a lot of great resources out there that will show you how to use all the various tools within a drawing application. And those are all good and well, but nobody really takes the time to explain how do you look at any type of drawn design and discern where to place the anchor points, how to pull out the Bezier curves. They teach you how to use the tools, but nobody really goes over in depth how to discern where to place these things. And that's part of what this creative process is going to cover. I'm going to explain that to you. And there's something I came up with called the clockwork method that kind of helps you to discern that. So we'll go over that as we go through this creative process. Once you have all your shapes built, and I always define and think through shapes before I ever begin working on coloring. And that's another thing that I think is important to pull out up front here in what you could call the creative preamble to this course, is that a lot of the aspects of coloring, once you have shapes as shown here, it becomes a coloring assignment. And coloring is very exploratory, meaning you can do 3 steps forward and then have to go 2 steps back in order to get what you need. It's very experimentation driven. You try something, it doesn't work, you try something else. So as much as I'm going to try to bake everything down to a step-by-step process, it simply isn't going to work that way in a lot of areas, specifically when it comes to coloring, because a lot of that is discovered through the process of trial and error. You just try something, doesn't work, you try something else. Hey, that works. I'm going to use that. So just know that up front as we begin to go in this. So this is the final design for this creature. And as much as I can, I'm going to help you to create monster vector art such as this. Now, there's always an exception to the rule. And the exception to the rules of this process is the fact that not every design you create is going to need to, is going to require you, that said, to discern with a lot of detail where to place your points, how to use your Bezier curves in order to get an elegant shape, because, such as this design, it's very geometrically driven. There's tools within Illustrator that allow you to draw a circle perfectly, allow you to draw ovals perfectly, allow you to draw any type of geometric shape with precision. So there really is no reason to draw this out in extreme detail. In other words, you don't need to refine this one any more than what you see there in order to achieve this. So that's the exception. I hope you enjoy this course, and I hope you learn a lot from it. Let's get started.